So this video I'm going to talk about how it's not just my relatives that come to me. In this case, it's be a short story, but it was pretty unusual. A friend's relative came to me, and not in a good way. 2 years ago, just about exactly, I was in bed. I think it was towards the morning. Anyway, I get into that twilight where you're about to wake up, and suddenly this very vivid face kind of peers to me off to the right and has a long scar down one side of the face. And angry man, older man, you can see white hair, I'm guessing 70s maybe. All of a sudden he's, angrily talking to me, and he says like, she did it. She can deny it, but she did it. And then I see a name spelled out very clearly. It's not the kind of name that is well known. I had never seen this name before. I don't know anyone else who has this name, first name and last name, but very clearly spelled out in front of my eyes. And so that kind of, I don't know, I think I've seen that name before. So anyway, disappears right after I see the name and, wake up fully. And so I decide I'm going to Google this name. So I Google the name, and it was spelled out exactly. Type it in exactly, and turns up it's in a neighboring state. And so I said, well, let me ask a friend who lives in that state if they happen to know it, because it was the same field as my friend. So contact her, and I said, do you know this name? It came to me, this man came to me, and he's saying she did it, she's guilty. Do you know who this is? And it turns out it was her best friend. She said, I'm surprised you haven't seen that on Facebook, which I realized, yes, that's where I've seen the name referred to before. I'm not friends or contact with this person, but it's one of her friends. And I said, well, here's the message I got, and man. And so I says, well, let me ask her. And she said she'd get back to me. So we go back and forth a few times, and her friend can't think of anyone. I said, well, did anyone recently pass? And she thought maybe, her grandmother recently passed, and they didn't always get along. And I said, no, this was a man, white hair, looked about 70 or so. And so we go back and forth for a few days. And then she says, she thinks maybe it's her uncle because he just passed. But she doesn't really talk to him. So sent a picture of this uncle, and it was pretty damn close to the face I saw. I said, well, that's the message she gave. She did it. She's guilty. So I don't know if he's talking about her or someone else, but that's what I got. And basically the response was, well, it doesn't surprise her that he would say something like that, but referred to an incident that occurred that was not her fault. So we don't know if he's blaming her for that, but hopefully he is forgiven and moved on and found peace after that. But that's just a very strange tale of a remote connection. Still, I guess, seeing that I have abilities, seeing I have some sort of link, and coming to tell me the message. Because apparently they wouldn't tell, or he couldn't tell anyone closer to the family. So you don't know where these messages are going to come from. So another instance of being surprised and having to dig to find the connection, but the name being spelled out perfectly, very strongly, very clearly, was a little bit unsettling for me. So this spirit was very determined to get through. So hopefully, like I said, we found some peace and resolution on that end.